little girl was spotted by a stray dog while playing. She was so frightened that she kept backing away and hurriedly called her father. When the man heard this, he realized his daughter was already standing on the edge of the pit. He tried to scare the dog away, but it ignored him. The man had no choice but to pick up a stone and throw it at the stray dog. Unexpectedly, his daughter was also frightened. The man tried his best to rush towards his daughter, but he fell too. They landed heavily on the ground. When the man woke up, he saw his daughter lying in a pool of blood. He fell into despair. His wife kept blaming him, but he pushed her away fiercely. When the man opened his eyes again, he heard his daughter's cries. It turned out his daughter wasn't dead, but only had a broken arm. The man picked up his daughter and quickly went to the hospital. While filling out the paperwork, the nurse actually asked if they wanted to put their daughter on the organ donation list. Although they thought this was strange, but the nurse said it was just normal procedure, so they had no choice but to agree. What was even more bizarre was that after examining the daughter's arm, the doctor actually admired her eyes, repeatedly praising their beauty. After the examination, the doctor wanted to take the girl for a CT scan, but stated that only one parent could accompany her. So the wife and daughter got into the elevator. The man didn't realize this would be the beginning of his nightmare. The dazed man waited in the lobby until evening, but his wife and daughter still didn't come out. The man had no choice but to go to the front desk to inquire. After listening to the man's story, the doctor checked the medical records, but didn't find his daughter's name. Even the nurse who had previously treated the man said he came alone and didn't see his wife or daughter. Upon hearing the nurse's words, the man flew into a rage, loudly demanding they lie. Security had no choice but to chase the frantic man away. The man immediately stopped the police car after he emerged. After the officers learned about the situation, the man led them to the hospital. However, the doctor insisted he had arrived alone and had not seen his wife and daughter. The man requested a hospital search, but without definitive evidence. They could not. So they came to the scene of the accident. The police found a pool of blood on the ground. However, a broken arm wouldn't bleed that much. They began to suspect the man had murdered his wife and daughter. A psychiatrist then began to counsel the man. She believed his insanity stemmed from his brain's reluctance to accept the truth after killing them, leading him to fabricate the story that they had been abducted by the hospital. He also began to wonder if his memory was distorted, but at this moment, the stray dog from that morning appeared, instantly bringing him back to reality. Convinced his wife and daughter were still waiting for him at the hospital, he grabbed the officer's gun and locked them both in a room. The man then returned to the hospital. To move freely through the hospital, he disguised himself as a doctor and quickly reached the third basement floor. There, he saw the words "human organs" written on the box the nurse was carrying. Remembering the doctor's expression when he looked into his daughter's eyes, he became even more convinced that this hospital was likely trafficking human organs. As expected, the man went to the window to check and discovered that it was his daughter lying inside. He threatened the doctor with a gun to stop, then woke his wife, picked up his daughter, and fled. Another doctor tried to stop him, but he fired without hesitation. The man then fled with his wife and daughter. He even sang to them, watching them behind him. But the next moment, they vanished, replaced by a severely injured man. It turns out that the daughter had already died after falling into the pit, and the wife was pushed over a rebar by the man when she asked him why. Then the man put them in the trunk, and the man's brain didn't want to accept it. So imagine what happened after that.